Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another powerful episode here at Code Your English. I am very happy that you are here with me today. If you are listening while walking, studying, traveling, or relaxing at home, thank you for giving me your time. In this podcast, we learn English together in a simple and practical way. We improve our listening, speaking, and also our thinking. Today's topic is powerful, simple, and life-changing. The topic is Attitude is Everything. Let me start with a simple question. Why do two people react differently to the same problem? Imagine two students who fail an exam. One student becomes very angry and says, "I am not smart. I will never succeed." The other student feels sad too, but says, "Okay, I failed. I need to study better next time." The situation is the same. The result is the same, but the reaction is different. Why? The answer is attitude. So what is attitude? Attitude is the way we think and feel about something. It is how we look at a situation. It is how we respond when something good or bad happens. Attitude is not the problem itself. It is our reaction to the problem. It is not what happens to us. It is how we choose to see what happens. In simple words, attitude is our mental position. It is the voice inside our head that says, "I can do this," or "This is too hard." Attitude is very important because it affects everything in our life. It affects our decisions. It affects our actions. It affects our relationships. It even affects our success. If you have a negative attitude, small problems feel very big. But if you have a positive attitude, even big problems feel possible to solve. Your attitude can make you stronger or weaker. It can push you forward or hold you back. In daily life, attitude plays a role in many small situations. When the weather is bad, do you complain all day, or do you continue your work? When someone criticizes you, do you feel destroyed, or do you try to learn something from it? When you make a mistake in English, do you stop speaking, or do you say, "It's okay, I am learning"? These small reactions show your attitude, and these small reactions slowly create your future. Today in this episode, we are going to understand this idea deeply, but in a very simple way. We will talk about what attitude really means. We will explore why attitude is so powerful. We will learn how to improve our attitude step by step. And most importantly, we will see how attitude can change your life, especially in your English learning journey. By the end of this episode, I want you not only to understand new English words, but also to understand yourself better. Because when you change your attitude, you change your direction. And when you change your direction, you change your life. So take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin this journey together. What is attitude? Simple explanation. Now let's understand more deeply what attitude really means. This word is simple, but many people do not think about it carefully. If we want to improve our life and our English, we must first clearly understand this idea. So let me explain it in a very easy way. Attitude is the way we think and feel about something. It is our inner reaction. It is the meaning we give to a situation. When something happens, before we speak, before we act, there is a small thought inside our mind. That thought creates a feeling. That feeling creates an action. This whole process is called attitude. So attitude is not just a feeling. It is a combination of thoughts, feelings, and reactions. Another simple way to understand attitude is this. Attitude is how we choose to see a situation. The situation may be neutral. It may not be good or bad. But our mind gives it a label. Our mind says, "This is terrible," or "This is not so bad." That label changes our energy. That energy changes our behavior. Let's take a very simple example. Imagine it is a rainy day. You wake up in the morning and you see heavy rain outside. One person looks at the rain and says, "Oh no, this day is ruined. I hate rain. Everything will go wrong." This person feels angry or sad. Their energy becomes low. Maybe they complain all day. Maybe they lose motivation to work or study. Now imagine another person. This person also sees the same rain. But they say, "Okay, it's raining. That's fine. I will take an umbrella. Maybe I can enjoy the cool weather." This person feels calm. Maybe they enjoy the sound of the rain. Maybe they feel peaceful. The rain is the same. The weather is the same. But the attitude is different. And because the attitude is different, the experience is different. Let's take another example. Imagine you receive your exam results, and the score is lower than you expected. A negative attitude says, "I am stupid. I will never improve. I am not good enough." These thoughts create disappointment and shame. Because of these feelings, the person may stop trying. They may avoid studying. They may give up. But a positive attitude says, "I did not get the result I wanted. That is okay. I can study more. I can ask for help. I can improve." This person may still feel sad for a short time because that is normal. Positive attitude does not mean you never feel sad. It means you do not stay in sadness forever. You choose to move forward. The result is the same. But the future becomes different because the attitude is different. Now let's think about criticism. Imagine someone says, "Your English pronunciation is not clear." A negative attitude reacts like this. "They are attacking me. I feel embarrassed. I will stop speaking English." This reaction creates fear, and fear stops progress. But a positive attitude reacts differently. It says, "Maybe they are right. Maybe I can practice more. This is a chance to improve." This reaction creates growth. It creates action. It creates improvement. Do you see the pattern? Attitude does not change the past. It does not change the weather. It does not change the exam score immediately, but it changes your response, and your response changes your future. There are generally two main types of attitude: negative attitude and positive attitude. A negative attitude focuses on problems, limits, and fear. It often uses words like, "I can't," "It's impossible," "It's too hard," or "Why is this happening to me?" A positive attitude focuses on solutions, learning, and opportunity. It uses words like, "I will try," "I can learn," "What can I do next?" or "This is difficult, but I will not give up." This does not mean that a positive person is always happy. That is not realistic. Everyone feels tired sometimes. Everyone feels disappointed sometimes. The difference is how long they stay in that negative space. A person with a strong attitude allows themselves to feel emotions, but they do not let emotions control their whole life. Attitude is like a pair of glasses. Imagine you are wearing dark glasses. Everything looks dark. But if you change the glasses, the world looks brighter. The world did not change. The glasses changed. In the same way, when you change your attitude, your experience changes. Attitude is also a habit. Many people think attitude is something we are born with. That is not true. It is something we practice. If you always complain, complaining becomes your habit. If you always look for solutions, problem-solving becomes your habit. Over time, your attitude becomes your personality. So when we say attitude is everything, we do not mean that attitude magically solves all problems. We mean that attitude influences how we deal with problems. It influences our confidence. It influences our courage. It influences our relationships and our learning. In your English journey, attitude is especially important. If you say, "English is too difficult," your brain stops trying. But if you say, "English is challenging, but I can improve step by step," your brain stays open. It stays active. It keeps learning. So remember this simple definition. Attitude is the way you think and feel about something, and how you respond to it. It is your inner voice. It is your mental choice. And even when you cannot control the situation, you can always practice controlling your attitude. Understanding this deeply is the first step, because once you become aware of your attitude, you can start to change it. And when you change it, you slowly change your life. Why attitude is so powerful. Now let us talk about something very important. Why is attitude so powerful? Why do people say, "Attitude is everything"? Is it just a nice sentence, or is it really true? To understand this, we need to see how attitude affects our daily life. When we look carefully, we will see that attitude influences our behavior, our decisions, our relationships, and even our success. First, attitude affects our behavior. Behavior means the way we act. It means what we do in different situations. Before every action, there is a thought, and that thought comes from our attitude. If your attitude is negative, your actions will also become negative. For example, if you believe, "I am bad at English," you may avoid speaking. You may not raise your hand in class. You may not practice. Your belief creates fear. Fear creates silence. Silence stops improvement. But if your attitude is, "My English is not perfect, but I can improve," your behavior changes. You speak more. You practice more. You accept mistakes. The attitude inside you changes the actions outside you. Attitude also affects our decisions. Every day we make many small decisions. Some decisions are simple, like what to eat. Others are more serious, like whether to continue studying or to give up. Our attitude guides these choices. If you have a negative attitude, you may choose the easier path. You may say, "This is too hard. I will stop." But if you have a positive attitude, you may choose the harder path because you believe it will help you grow. You may say, "Yes, this is difficult, but I will learn something valuable." The same situation can lead to very different decisions depending on your attitude. Attitude also affects our relationships. Think about how you react when someone makes a mistake. If your attitude is impatient, you may become angry quickly. You may say hurtful words. This can damage your relationships. But if your attitude is understanding, you may respond calmly. You may listen first. You may forgive more easily. In this way, your attitude shapes the way people feel around you. People feel comfortable around someone who has a positive and respectful attitude. But they may feel stressed around someone who always complains or blames others. Now let us talk about success. Many people think success only depends on talent, intelligence, or luck. These things can help, but attitude plays a huge role. A positive attitude helps you continue when things are difficult. It helps you stand up after failure. It helps you stay patient. Success usually does not come quickly. It requires time, effort, and consistency. Without the right attitude, most people give up before they reach their goal. Let me give you a clear example. Imagine two students who fail an important exam. They both studied. They both hoped to pass. But when they see the result, they fail. The situation is exactly the same. The score is the same. The disappointment is the same. The first student says, "I knew it. I am not smart enough. This subject is not for me." This student feels embarrassed and hopeless. Because of this feeling, the student decides to stop trying. Maybe they skip classes. Maybe they avoid studying. Over time, their performance becomes worse. Finally, they quit completely. Their attitude created their decision, and their decision created their result. The second student also feels sad. That is normal. But this student says, "I failed. That hurts. But maybe I did not use the right study method. I will try again. I will ask the teacher for help." This student chooses to learn from the failure. They change their strategy. They study in a smarter way. they practice more. The next time, they pass the exam.